From the sidelines to your ears, it's the BenchWarmers podcast. I am your host, Jordan. For today, it's me running this solo. Um, welcome. Anyways, we got a lot to discuss, a lot to break down. Um, you know, post WrestleMania 41 on Saturday and Sunday, which was a banger show. A little bit of the NBA with the playoffs going on. We won't touch too much on it. And to end things off with the NFL draft. So yeah, we have a lot to get into on this episode. Zach wasn't able to make it. Hopefully he'll be here on next episode, on episode 11. Until then, we will go forth with the episode. So starting off first, we have the NBA. The NBA playoffs are shaping up really well this time of year. And my Boston Celtics seem to be doing really well. I believe we lead the series. Let me just pull that up. And yeah, we do. We lead the series 2-0 against the Orlando Magic. The next time that we play is tonight, actually, at 7 o'clock on ESPN. For those of you who don't know, Cleveland leads the Miami Heat 2-0. The Indiana Pacers lead the Milwaukee Bucks 2-0. The New York Knicks are up against the Pistons 2-1. And then, as I stated before, the Boston Celtics take a 2-0 lead on the Orlando Magic. And then on the western side of things, the OKC Thunder are crushing the Memphis Grizzlies. Shout out to Ja Morant. Godspeed to him. He took a nasty bump, and I hope this guy recovers well. And it looks like the OKC Thunder will get that sweep 4-0 on the Grizzlies if Ja Morant is not playing. But I digress. Game 4 for the Nuggets and Clippers is the 26th on TNT at 6 o'clock as the Los Angeles Clippers lead the Denver Nuggets 2-1. The Los Angeles Lakers are tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves 1-1, and the same goes for the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors, who are also tied 1-1. So there's a lot of games that still need to be played, obviously, more or less on the western side of things than on the eastern side of things, as we have two matchups on the western side of things that are tied up right now. And my picks still remain the same as Zach and I had stated from the jump. I have the Celtics and the Lakers going to the NBA Finals, and I believe Zach has the Bucks and the Thunder going to the NBA Finals. And it's looking like the Bucks are going to. They have to come back here. They play tonight as well at 8 o'clock on NBA TV. The NBA Pass for those of you who have it, and for those of you who don't, such as myself, it looks like we're not going to be able to watch that. Well, it does say ESPNU, and I'm sure I have that on YouTube TV, so I might be able to watch that game. The Knicks and Pistons, they play on the 27th at 1 o'clock on ABC. The Cavs and Heat play tomorrow at 1 o'clock. That'll be on TNT. And on the western side of things, OKC and Memphis play tomorrow at 3:30 on TNT. The Nuggets and Clippers play tomorrow at 6 o'clock on TNT. The Lakers and Timberwolves play tonight at 9:30, and the Rockets and Warriors, play tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. on ABC. Um, so yeah, my picks remain the same. Let me turn this mic down. My picks do remain the same as far as the NBA playoffs. As you can see right here, let me get that right there. The Larry O'Brien replica Boston Celtics. I got to get a new one. This one doesn't have the latest trophy on it. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, so the Boston Celtics are my go-to to win this all. Obviously, they're my teams. I mean, even though even though the Knicks are in my division in the Atlantic Division, I wouldn't mind seeing them shape up. I know that this is a make or break for their head coach. I forget his name. Um, but I know this is make or break for this guy, and if he doesn't take this team, pretty close, at least to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. I think it's NBA Finals or bust for him. Then he might be out the door, and the Knicks might be looking for a new head coach this season. The Bucks and Pacers. I love Indiana in that. I know, the Bucks. They have um, some demons on that side. Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's going to be an interesting matchup. I hope that it's a lot more competitive than it is now, at least, because it's 2-zip. Indiana leads it, and it's so the Bucks is, I don't know, man, but Indy is looking up for all you Indiana Pacers fans. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. Indiana is, I mean, those guys are up there. Next, you got the Cavs and the Heat. Um, I say that Cleveland sweeps them. Honestly, um, Cleveland is on a tear right now. They're number one seed in the Eastern Conference, and I think that they keep hold of this playoffs, and at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics, the Celtics are gonna beat them. I know. I'm a little bit biased here, but I'm pretty sure that the Boston Celtics will take whoever meets them in the Eastern Conference Final. And I know I could eat them words, so I'm sure that you all will let me know. Moving on over to the Western side of things, the Grizzlies and Thunder. I touched on it with John Morant. Um, Let me just pull it up here, just so I have an accurate um, assessment on this. It is okay. So first thing that pops up is John Morant's on crutches. Status is uncertain after the fall, and from what I've seen all over this morning, it looks like John Morant is not going to be playing for the rest of the series. So what does that say for the Grizzlies? Pretty much means that you're about to get swept. You have a game tomorrow, and it's against the number one seed in the Western Conference here, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Shai is just relentless, and I expect him to not take his foot off the gas. He's going to keep that foot on the gas, and they're going to keep moving forward. Honestly, like I said in the beginning, Godspeed to John Morant, and the guy's been through it. So hopefully he can bounce back from this injury and come back stronger. As you know, he will. He's a dog. So, yeah, shout out to John Morant. And next we have the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. And as I said before, the Clippers lead the series 2-1. I'm not counting the Nuggets out because it's not like it's 3-0 here. Or even 2-0. It's they're in game 4. It's 2-1, and you never count against the Joker. So I got Denver taking this series over and winning it, even though they're down 2-1. The Lakers, that's my pick to go to the finals, and who they are tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves now. This series is obviously, as it sits, it's a pretty damn good series, wouldn't you say? I would. I expect nothing less from these two teams between Anthony Edwards and Luka Doncic. These two are animals on the court, and then you got to throw in Austin Reeves and obviously the King LeBron James, into the fold as well. Next is the Warriors and the Rockets, and this is one of those teams. The Warriors I'm talking about is one of those teams that I'm still a fan of, and with the addition of Jimmy Butler, and it looked like Jimmy Butler went down too. I'm not quite sure on that. I seen that clip. Let me just double check that. I think that the Warriors should be fine. I don't see them going crazy. Jimmy Butler update. Oh, it looks like he's in CBS Sports here. Says that the Warriors star questionable for Game 3 versus Rockets with pelvis contusion. So it doesn't look like Jimmy Butler is going to be playing in this Game 3 series. His Warriors are tied with the Houston Rockets, who are sitting at pretty at that number 2 seed nonetheless. Um, yeah, like I said, the Warriors. They're one of those, as you can tell, like yeah, I like the Pats, the Celtics, just to name a few. I won't go over all of them, but if you watch the show, where both mine and Zach's teams stay at, and I think that the Warriors dynasty is slowly coming to an end. Um, that Jimmy Butler I thought was going to be a great addition to, and by the way, this is not no knock on Jimmy Butler because he's an absolute animal, and the work that he's done in Miami was phenomenal. I thought that we were going to see another super team, and we still may get this. A healthy Jimmy Butler, um, match him with somebody of Steph Curry's caliber. Who knows where that team could go? As for right now, with the Warriors sitting at the 7th seed and the series being tied 1-1, um, I would like to see the Warriors come up, and it looks like they are the favorite. 3.5 is what they're going at. Minus 3.5, I should say, for Golden State. So it looks like they're going to come back and get this done. There, there's always a couple of teams in every sport that that you can never bet against. In the postseason, and the Golden State Warriors are one of those teams. Yeah, they're down Jimmy Butler, but Steph Curry is a different type of breed, and I think that we haven't seen the last of the Golden State Warriors in this playoff run. So, with that being said, that's my take on the whole NBA playoff series, and as I stated before, my picks will remain the same. The Boston Celtics, my Boston Celtics. I have them going to take on the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think that would be, a showdown, a really good showdown. I mean, and shout out to all these teams. All these teams. There's a reason why they're here. They play their hearts out and they work really hard to get to this spot. Front office coaches, all of them. It's a big puzzle here. So yeah, that's what I think about the NBA playoffs. Now moving forward, we have to go in and talk about what happened over the weekend. And you haven't heard from myself or Zach since the live stream. For those of you who watched it, we were dealing with some things on the channel. We had some verification issues, so we weren't able to stream on the BenchWarmers podcast YouTube channel. But we were able to stream on my actual channel, which I have the footage still, and it will be uploaded here soon. We were able to do that. So for those of you who chimed in and watched, thank you. It meant a lot, and I know I had a blast doing it. My wife, she wasn't on camera. She was sitting right here to my right, and she made her presence known, and she had a great time as well. So yeah, WrestleMania. That was um, it wasn't what I was expecting, I should say, because when I was and I said this during the live stream as well, is I didn't, it's like some of those title changes, like the United States title, I didn't understand why we're doing that. I mean, the obvious answer here is to um, gain more exposure for your now current United States champion, Jacob Fatu, who beat LA Knight in night one of WrestleMania. And I just don't understand because we took the belt off of Knight after he beat Logan Paul in Cleveland at SummerSlam of last year. We took the belt off of him and put it on Shinsuke Nakamura, which I didn't understand that either. I think that Shinsuke is a guy that you could move into the main event in series, and you don't have to put the belt on him, but at least have him feud with these main event guys or main event esque guys that you want to put in the main event, such as Braun Breaker, guys like that, so on and so forth. Um, so first and foremost, congratulations to Jacob Fatu. Uh, the guy deserves to be here, and listening to his story and it's a tearjerker for sure from where he was to where he is now. I really liked I like where this is going for him, for Jacob, but at the same time, as an LA Knight fan, I'm also bummed out because now what do we do? Now what are we doing with LA Knight here now? This guy is over. Like, he's red fucking hot. Every town he goes in, the crowd is chanting his catchphrases, whether it be saying his name, LA Knight, or the yeah catchphrase, whatever it be. LA Knight is over, 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 over. So I don't see why we unless they're taking him and strapping a rocket to him and giving him that shot to go against uh, Cena or Jey Uso, you know. And if that happens, okay, that's awesome. But in the meantime, what are we doing with him? I mean, let's go here. Let's get the ball rolling. It's the off season was that brief moment between the end of WrestleMania Night 2 and the beginning of Monday Night Raw, the following day. So, in that short period of time, like, yeah, I'm assuming that these guys already have this next story in place and stuff like that. So, I would like to see, and I'm sure that we're going to get some answers tonight here on SmackDown. And I'm pretty excited about that as well, because LA Knight's gonna come out and he's gonna address everything, um, and I can't wait for that. So Jacob Fatu, we'll move on to him since he is now the one who holds the title. As I stated before, Jacob he's an animal. He's a dog. He deserves to be here. Hard worker. The character is great, and for a big guy, he can move around. He can fly around. Is there anything that Jacob Fatu cannot do at this point that we haven't seen? Because this guy just keeps on. That You want to talk about shock factor? Like, this guy is it, man. This guy is literally it. One of the questions I have here too is what do we do with Solo now? Because Solo was the leader of the Bloodline 2.0. He was meant to be the top guy in that faction, goes one on one with Cody Rhodes for the WWE Universal Title, loses that match. Of course, because Roman Reigns came back at SummerSlam. Um, but then he doesn't even, like, Jacob Fatu has, I think it's less than a year, and Solo's been in the company for over a year of it. I think, I believe. Um, Nonetheless, like, okay, so what do we do now with Sokoa? Are we just gonna keep him as backstage and all this other stuff, or are we gonna, actually make that push and actually stick with it and say, yeah, this is our guy moving forward, for the main event scene. We want him to, represent the SmackDown brand as a main eventer. Cool. All right, but right now, as it sits, you have Solo Sikoa, who hasn't won a belt yet. I believe maybe the NXT North America Championship. For some reason, that comes to my mind. Let me know below if I'm right about that NXT North American. But if not, I don't know of any other belt that he's held. I meant. Um, so yeah, that's one of the questions I have is why is this happening for this guy when this guy's supposed to be up top in the story? Nonetheless, that just came to my mind too. Is are we going to see a feud between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa? Like, because that was a thing for a while too. Is like these two were actually button heads, but in segments backstage. So, if that's the case, then dude, I'm here for it. That's awesome. Um, but yeah, dude, that match was between LA Knight was and Jacob Fatu was off the charts. Off the charts. I mean, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. On Peacock, and whew, that match was yeah, that match was just insanity to me. I thought the world of it, and then there was a few other ones that the Jey Uso match versus the Jey Uso versus Gunther match. I didn't like the finish on that. I thought that they really did Gunther dirty in that match, and here's why: because that match opened the show. That match opened the show for WrestleMania Saturday, and like my opinion on the matter is known. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, um, but you guys know how both Zach and I felt about Gunther not going over here because I thought that you could still boost Jey Uso by making him lose just by a small hair, just by a small hair, because you still want him to be red hot, but you want Gunther to be one step above him. You see what I'm saying? And I thought that like you still could have done that. You really still could have done that even if Jay went over, and that's something that they didn't even do, man. Like that's man, that's okay. So the finish of that match was Jey Uso got Gunther in a sleeper hold. Gunther's finish. He stole Gunther's finish, and Gunther taps out. And I just don't. There's and some people may say, "Yo, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with that." And you could be, that's your opinion, and you may be right on that. But as far as I'm concerned, I didn't like that. Like the Uso splash is, you know, a devastating move as well. Jay's been hitting the spear as a finish as well. You could have done, if anything, he could have done the Braun Breaker or Roman Reigns. Instead of just going up against the ropes and hitting the spear, go against the ropes and just run the ropes a few times and then hit him to act as if you're gaining more momentum. You see what I'm saying? And then from there, you would have had maybe a totally different match. I would assume. But nonetheless, Jey Uso is your new world heavyweight champion, and whether you like it or not, the guy's putting asses in seats. Ratings are up, merch is up for Jey Uso. Congratulations to him. I know in the post show, the dude was celebrating a lot. I mean, you don't need me to tell you. If you watched it, you've probably seen the clips of him, hitting the booze a little bit after that win, and rightfully so. The guy has definitely worked for this. Both him and his brother Jimmy. And honestly, I seen it in a clip the other day about Jimmy Uso saying that if Jimmy never got hurt, we probably would have never seen this singles run from one Jey Uso. And I think that I think that that's absolutely correct. That's accurate because the Usos. I said this before too, and in previous episodes, the Usos are one of, if not the best, WWE tag team of all time, and it's tough to beat. The Usos. The only one who's probably neck and neck right there is the New Day, to be honest, and the New Day. We'll get into that a little bit later too, but so Jay, Jay Uso winning this belt is a dream come true for him, and rightfully so. I just think that they could have done everything a lot better with that match. You're not going to please everybody. You're not going to please everybody with that, with anything that you do. So, uh, kudos to Jey Uso. We won't spend that much time on it. Um, what else was on WrestleMania Saturday that we should bring up? Let me see. Okay, the women's tag team titles. Yeah, I know that was a big one as well. Um, because this will lead into the Monday Night Raw, um, or Raw after Mania episode that we're gonna talk about in a little bit too. Excuse me. So the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships were defended. I was on night two, but I want to go over this real quick. It was Lyra Valkyria and a mystery partner versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And I mean, I knew, I predicted Becky was gonna come back. I pretty much had seen that after, seen that coming after we had found out Bailey wasn't gonna be competing. I believe it's Friday. Um, so I was pretty much a shoe-in because you seen Becky at the Hall of Fame with Seth Rollins posing for pictures, and now I did not predict what came on Monday. I did not see that coming at all. Up until the ending, the finish of the match, and once you seen the looks, you see that Becky's gonna, we'll get into it. But Lyra Valkyria comes out, she's waiting outside the ring, and then all of a sudden the music hits, and out comes the man Becky Lynch. And I like this, for Becky, um, it's something to get her in the mix, coming back. She had some stuff that she had handled, and being a mom and everything else, and glad to see her back. So I'm glad that they were able to do this to fit her in on that. It wasn't a bad match either. Becky could still go. I love Lyra Valkyria. Uh, she is a star. First of all, let's just start with her physique. She is jacked. She is fucking jacked, and she can she can just like I said about Fatu, she can do all the high flying stuff, but she could she could do like what the cruiserweights can do, but she can also use her brute strength, and that's amazing. That's just amazing to me because you don't really see that in the women's division that much. I mean, other than the taller girls, Naya and Raquel, and stuff like that. Like, you, it's really nice to see. It's refreshing for me to see something like that. And she's also the Intercontinental Champion, so she's building that resume. She went over on the grandest stage of them all with, Becky Lynch, Ireland and Ireland. You know, that was awesome. Um, I'm glad that she got her moment, and now she's got the accolade of, you know, holding the first ever women's Intercontinental Championship and doing holding that while becoming new women's tag team champions. So shout out to Lyra, she deserves that, and I love the run that she's on, and yeah. So where else where we need to go on WrestleMania? Um, the triple threat match, the main event. We'll get into that. Oh, the WWE Women's Championship match. Well, before that, let's go into before we go into the Women's Championship and then the main event of WrestleMania Saturday. Why don't we talk about the Jade Cargill versus Naomi match, because that's that match right there really impressed me. It really impressed me on both sides. In previous episodes, I've made it clear, that I think that I need that we should get more from Naomi, and she needs this heel turn, and she really does. you know, how do I? She needed the heel turn, and she needed just to be herself in certain situations. Not that I think that she's a bad person, but just let it flow naturally, and it seemed like on that day, it was a decent match. You got a lot of it out of Naomi in there, and we got to see Jade Cargill as well, who is a phenomenon. I mean, I talked about Lyra's physique. Let's talk about Jade Cargill's physique. Fuck, fuck, that girl is massive, massive, man. She takes really good care of herself. She looks incredible. She moves incredible. Happy to see her enjoying herself. It seems like she was, and especially on that day. Congratulations to Jade Cargill. What's next for Naomi? I don't know, but I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued now because does she go back to the well of Jade Cargill, or now does she turn her attention over to Bianca Belair? Uh, we're just have to tune into SmackDown tonight to find that out. But yeah, like I said, from Naomi, I got everything that I wanted. I got all the answers that I wanted from her. It was a decent match, and for Jade, I see her being the next number one contender for the women's title soon. Not like tomorrow or tonight, but soon. I'd be happy to see that, and she deserves it. Um, what else was there? Did Chelsea Green compete? I can't remember. No, 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 no. No. Okay. It's been a long week. But okay. So the women's the WWE Women's World Championship. No, the WWE Championship. Sorry, the WWE Women's Championship. That's what I meant to say. God damn. Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. That match was personal. That match was a banger of a match. Tiffany, lost a tooth, and man, that was rough. That was really rough. Tiffany got the job done. Charlotte looked like $1,000,000. She made Tiffany look like $1,000,000. Uh, you know, Tiffany stated from the jump that this is, something that her dream opponent, and she got what she asked for out of Charlotte Flair in that match. I really enjoyed it. Charlotte Flair, a really good acting as a really good veteran here to make Tiffany, because we all knew that there was no chance that Charlotte was going over in this match. We all knew that Tiffany was going to keep that belt, um, and Tiffany deserves it. She really does. From the work in NXT and everything else, the girl is phenomenal. I loved her entrance. The Barbie in the box, and I love Charlotte's entrance too. Charlotte's was brought the more mature and elegance. Bringing that flair. Charlotte's robe was phenomenal as always. The outfit, I love the scheme, the colors of the outfits. The match, like off the charts. I thought so at least. I've seen a few reports that just are shitting on it or just wasn't their cup of tea. I personally thought it was amazing. I really did. There's no complaints from me. Um, I thought that the person who should have went over in that match went over, and that was Tiffany. Um, but I don't see this being the end of Charlotte and Tiffany. Um, I think that the smart thing for them to do would probably uh, be to revisit this at another time, and in the meantime, you know, build build other female stars up. It's the SmackDown after WrestleMania. We'll get into Raw a little bit, but we've seen what had happened over there. Um, so I'm expecting a little bit more of the surprises. Probably not as many as we got on Raw after Mania, but on tonight I think then we'll get one or two surprises on the SmackDown after Mania, and then that. So I'm hoping, we get some, fresher talent within the women's division on SmackDown, to help out there and to build up the women's division there. So it'd be really, really nice to see that, and I'm looking forward to that. But we'll go over some of the other matches. Won't spend too much time on them. We got other places to visit in this episode. Uh, but I do want to talk about the triple threat match that main evented WrestleMania Night 1 on Saturday. And it was the Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. And Seth Rollins was the one who went over, right? But the storytelling in this match was priceless, in my opinion. I thought, I thought for sure that Paul was going to turn on CM Punk and help Roman, but it appears that that is just not the case and wasn't the case at all. The match itself for the main event of WrestleMania Saturday, it was it was all right. I mean, Seth Rollins went over and defeated Roman Reigns and CM Punk, but the way it happened was unlike any other, dude. It was Paul Heyman had a lot to do in it, and the storytelling, as I stated, the storytelling there was just priceless, priceless, and a lot of people were in awe about it. I know I was when I had initially seen that Paul Heyman turned on CM Punk and Roman Reigns at the same time and went to Seth. Uh, and that, jeez, man, Paul Heyman is a genius when it comes to this kind of stuff. And what I mean by that kind of stuff is the world of professional wrestling. The guy is you ain't gonna get anybody better than Paul Heyman when it comes to like storytelling and stuff like that. Ask anybody, and the guy and everybody will tell you the same thing. The dude's a genius. So it's no surprise that this match went the way it did. And as I stated, Seth Rollins went over, but how he went over is this: CM Punk, Paul Heyman was outside with grabbed a steel chair, went to hand it to CM Punk. And when he did hand it to CM Punk, Punk was gonna go hit Reigns with it. Boom! Heyman hits Punk with a low blow. Paul Heyman then takes the chair, hands it to Roman Reigns, says, "Here, my tribal chief." Roman Reigns sees Seth Rollins coming to his feet. Roman Reigns gets ready to hit Seth Rollins in the back, just like Seth Rollins did to him years ago during the Shield days. Then Paul Heyman hits Reigns with a low blow, and boom, we now see the picture of Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. And that's when the camera goes off. You see executive producer Paul Levesque at the bottom of the screen. WrestleMania Saturday Night 1 is in the books. That was an excellent cliffhanger and an excellent way to end Night 1 of it, of WrestleMania. Yeah, it wasn't a bad match at all. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. The storytelling in it was remarkable. You know, but CM Punk getting his first main event at WrestleMania, thought that was rightfully deserved. I'm a big CM Punk guy, big Paul Heyman guy, and I also love Roman Reigns as well. Nothing wrong with Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins is the modern day Shawn Michaels, if you will. The guy really can perform. The right guy can really go. Future if Seth Rollins retired today, he'd be in the Hall of Fame tomorrow, in my opinion. That's how good Seth Rollins is. So, that was Saturday of WrestleMania. And going into Sunday, as I had mentioned about the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, the Sin City Street Fight, Drew McIntyre defeated Damian Priest. The Women's World Championship was a hell of a match too. Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. I got a lot out of that match. A lot out of that match. I didn't expect Io to go over though. I thought I wanted her to, I just didn't. For some reason, I just thought that they were going to put the belt back on Rhea Ripley, and then that was going to be that. But they didn't. They didn't. They kept the belt on Io Sky. I like this. You're building up the story. The story when how Io got there. I was there in Buffalo when she won the belt, and the whole night they were talking about Io Sky is undefeated against Rhea Ripley. Io Sky is undefeated against Rhea Ripley. Io Sky is undefeated against Rhea Ripley. And as you go on, Io Sky is beating Rhea Ripley, right? That's the way it should go, and that's the way it should. Now eventually, there's going to come a time where the story is, which it should be coming soon. I don't expect her to drop it at WrestleMania Backlash, but I see the story going where Io and Rhea Ripley have a one-on-one match for the belt. Rhea Ripley goes over and this big reveal of, you beat me so many times, I have to get this. I have to beat you. And one day, soon, sometime this year, I would assume, it's going to be like that. And we're going to get Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the WWE Women's World Championship. And maybe at SummerSlam. I'm burping a lot. Maybe at SummerSlam is when we'll get that. And I'm here for it. I'm excited. I'm excited for it, man. It's really good. I love Io, and I know others' opinions don't match mine when it comes to Rhea Ripley. Yes, they've shoved her down our throats and all this other stuff, and none of that matters. The same thing I said about Jey Uso, same thing about Rhea Ripley. Merch, butts and seats. She has more tools than Jey Uso. She could talk really well and carry promos. Jey Uso's really good in the ring. So is Rhea Ripley is phenomenal in the ring. There's a lot of pros about Rhea Ripley, and they're not done with Rhea Ripley. No matter whether you like it or not, Rhea Ripley is still going to be in the main event of the women's division. That's just the way it's going to go. So, yes, at some point I do see Io Sky and Rhea Ripley matching up at some big PLE, and Rhea Ripley will go over. And that, but Bianca Belair, we have to talk about her quick as well. She is a stud. The same thing I said about Jade Cargill and Lyra Valkyria applies to the same one, Bianca Belair. She's jacked, too. She's jacked. She's athletic. And she's just a star. Bianca Belair is the type of girl you want to be on your posters, on your mugs, on your T-shirts. She's got the looks. She's got the strength. She's got the charisma. She's a very talented woman, and this isn't the end of her either. I just don't see them doing that triple threat again. Maybe they carry it on to WrestleMania Backlash one more time and then drop it there. But for now, I really do believe that was the end of it, and Bianca's going to move on to something different. I wouldn't mind seeing Bianca Belair go on to pair up with Lyra Valkyria after Lyra's done with the whole Becky Lynch thing. At some point, I think that would be a barn burner for sure. There's many different ways. The good thing about Bianca Belair, right? There's many different ways that you could go with her. You could pair her in the mid card scene because she can elevate that. You can use her as a main eventer too because she's been there. She's been the type of girl that can hold the belt, and she had the belt for a while too. So yeah, she's one of those versatile individuals that you could pull and place anywhere, and she'll get the job done. She's great at selling. She's like I said about the charisma. She's good on the mic. She can go these lengthy matches, and still perform at a high level. And that's the stuff that I, as a viewer, really like to see. But yeah, so that match was phenomenal. I love that match. What else was there? The Sin City Street Fight, as I stated, Drew McIntyre defeated Damian Priest. The Intercontinental Championship, the fatal four-way between Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Penta, and Braun Breaker. That match. That match had me. There was a moment where I there's two moments throughout WrestleMania Night 2 that my voice was gone, and that was one of those moments. Was the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship. I I said it on the last episode, and I'll reiterate again. Dominic Mysterio deserves that belt, and I knew that they were going to put that belt on him. He he has the most heat right now. He is red hot when it comes to playing the villain. Everybody hates him. Everybody thinks that Dominic Mysterio is an absolute dirtbag. He he can play that role, man. He's awesome. He's awesome at it. And in the ring, like he's not bad either. He's not bad either. I love what he did with Finn Balor inside the Fatal 4-Way. Braun Breaker looked good. Penta looked phenomenal. Lots of really good spots there. Um, but in the end result, Dominic Mysterio um, is your new Intercontinental Champion, and rightfully so. I say that Dominic, I said this about Jey Uso, so I want to tread lightly, but I think Dominic's going to have a lengthy run as the IC title holder. And the reason why I said that is because the way he plays the heel is like a chicken shit cowardly heel. You know what I'm saying? And he's really good at that. So I see that he uses that to his advantage in a lot of these matches. A lot like how we've seen like Eddie, but I think that Dominic's going to put his own personal twist on it. And I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what Dominic has in store, or Dominic and the WWE have in store for us when it comes to his title reign. And yeah, I'm excited about that. I thought that match was 5 fucking stars. Congratulations to Dominic. Congratulations to everybody that was involved in both nights of WrestleMania. But then, okay, so we move on now. Randy Orton and mystery opponent, since Kevin Owens is hurt. Godspeed to Kevin Owens. I hope that you recover well and fast and are able to compete again, my brother. That mystery opponent just so happened to be Joe Hendry. And when I tell you that the place went fucking nuts, believe me, brother, they went fucking nuts. You could hear you could hear Vegas chant Joe's theme song. As soon as they found out that it was Joe Hendry, the place erupted off the jump. And when they cut to Randy Orton, you could see Randy Orton just looking around the entire arena, taking all of that in. Joe Hendry's on his way up, the current TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Definitely deserves this WrestleMania moment, even though he didn't go over. And I honestly, I didn't expect him to win that match. I didn't. It's Randy Orton. Randy Orton is a 14-time world champion, and along with the rest of the accolades that he has. So there was no chance that Joe was gonna come in and take that W. That was a decent match for what it was, and the time that they had and everything else like that. I didn't mind that. Thought that was an excellent filler slot match, and it gained Joe Hendry some exposure. So congratulations to Joe on that. I know I seen him on NXT in a clip wearing that same WrestleMania shirt. I gotta cop me one of those WrestleMania Joe Hendry shirts. The guy is, I mean, if TNA ever fully releases him, I expect WWE to be like, no, just send him over, trade, whatever. That guy's a future star. Like he's gonna be up there one day. And I know I'm a little biased on that because I'm a Joe Hendry fan, but nonetheless, the guy, it really is it. Next, so where are we at now? Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's in the news. Jesus Christ. When I had seen, jeez, my whole freaking mic just fell. When I had seen Austin come by on that freaking on that ATV, it wasn't his normal ATV. No, that's the first thing I noticed. I was like, oh my god, this guy's on a on a racing ATV. I was like, oh shit, he's hauling ass. And as soon as I seen him turn that corner, I said, oh no, this isn't gonna be good. And what happens? He rams into the freaking barricade, dude. He rams into the freaking barricade. And from the stuff that I've seen on Twitter, it seemed like the lady was actually pretty pissed about it. I didn't go and I looked at like the one or two angles of it. Um, but for the most part, I didn't dive into it like that or anything else like that. But from what I've seen on Twitter and the rest of the internet, it looked like that lady was pretty pissed. Let me fix this mic. All right, so next, after that match, after the Joe Hendry Orton match, and obviously Austin, you know, terrorizing fans on that ATV, crashing into things. Um, I talked about the women's tag team match. Logan Paul defeated AJ Styles as well somewhere in the night as well. That was I didn't mind that match either. Karrion Kross, we seen Karrion Kross in that Logan Paul versus AJ Styles match as well. Um, I was kind of like thrown off at first. I was like, oh shit, Karrion Kross? Okay, okay, I could dig that. I thought he was gonna help Logan Paul in it, but he was trying to get AJ to use the brass knucks, So when that didn't work, AJ hopped into the ring, and that was the finish. Logan Paul goes over, and it seems like it really seems like Karrion Kross and AJ Styles are going to be the next ones who are feuding um, after what we have seen on Raw. You know, I like this. I like this from Karrion Kross, but it also like took away from that Logan Paul victory, in my opinion. Because I know I was focused on Karrion Kross. I was like, well, what is he doing here? How did this get set up? Why is like all the I was asking the five W's: who, what, when, where, and why. When it came to seeing Karrion Kross. But nonetheless, Logan Paul did uh, reign victorious over one AJ Styles on WrestleMania Night 2. Um, and then we have the main event of the whole thing. And I loved it. I really loved I remember texting Zach after. I was like, dude, you're gonna have to carry depending on how my voice feels, you're gonna have to carry this whole episode. Thankfully it wasn't that bad and I sound normal. Thank God for that. But I was really excited to see Cena capture that 17th World Championship, and the match itself. I mean, it was. I thought it was good. I could have been better. Absolutely. Like my biggest thing is The Rock. Okay, so The Rock was there after John Cena won the Elimination Chamber in Toronto. Um, when he did the whole, you know, the throat slit, and John Cena then ambushed Cody Rhodes. Travis Scott smokes Cody Rhodes with that slap. Um, I was expecting The Rock to be at WrestleMania, and he wasn't. And then I come to find out, he was just there to sell a match or something. I don't know. There's a lot of freaking talk between all these other people, all these other outlets and stuff, and why. From what I've seen on the Pat McAfee show, The Rock felt like he didn't need to be there, and I thought yeah, you do need to be there, dude. The whole point of this was Cody Rhodes selling his soul to The Rock, because from last year's WrestleMania in Philadelphia, The Rock comes out WrestleMania at Monday Night Raw after Mania of WrestleMania 40. Comes out and says, Cody Rhodes, our story has just begun. Oh, okay. So you fast forward to Elimination Chamber. Oh, no, Bad Blood. Bad Blood. The Rock comes out after Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes tag, and Cody Rhodes and Reigns are victorious in that match. The Rock comes out, does this, and 3, 2, 1. And that's it. End of show. Okay, so now we go to the Elimination Chamber. John Cena's in the match. John Cena wins the chamber. Okay, out comes Cody Rhodes. We get the happy-go-lucky, babyface Cena, and next thing you know, the final boss music hits. Out comes The Rock. The Rock and Travis Scott are standing in the ring with Cena and Rhodes. The Rock hits him with the finger the finger slit of the throat. Cena kicks Rhodes in the groin, and Rhodes gets beat up. Okay, so now we are getting, you know, The Rock, Cena, Scott versus Cody. With John Cena and Cody Rhodes being the two contestants in the match. But the story involves The Rock, Travis Scott, Cena, and Cody. Okay, all right. And then WrestleMania comes, and all we see is Travis Scott. Which, yeah, I mean, Travis is part of the story, so he should be out there. But for The Rock to come out and say, oh, well, I'm not quoting him, but along the lines of, yeah, I felt like I just didn't need to be there to sell the story. Yeah, you do, bro. You do. Long-term storytelling, like from what I just mentioned, the night after WrestleMania 40 on Monday Night Raw. You tell Cody Rhodes, our story has just begun. Your story and Roman Reigns' story may have been finished, but mine and your story has just begun. To Bad Blood comes out after Reigns and Cody win, targeting Cody again. And then at the Elimination Chamber, like I said, he has Cody try to sell his soul to The Rock. Cody says no. Cena kicks him in the nuts. And then now we're set for the road to WrestleMania. We didn't get The Rock throughout the road to WrestleMania. So I assumed, yeah, we're definitely getting him at Mania. Mania comes and he's nowhere to be found. And then goes on the Pat McAfee show and it says what he says, dude. No. We need to know what the hell really happened. I know that I'm itching to know because I was literally saying the entire match, like, where the fuck is The Rock? We need The Rock. We need The Rock. And he's part of the damn story. We need The Rock. He's not there. He's not there. John Cena. So John Cena's victorious. He's now the 17th-time world champion. He said he's going to go and ruin wrestling. Comes out. And now we'll go into the Monday Night Raw portion of it because he opens the show on Monday Night Raw and goes into he goes into detail about saying that he is the last real WWE champion. He's going to take that belt home with him, and after he leaves, like, the WWE is going to have to start all over again. What he means, I do not know. I haven't the slightest of clues. But I'm interested to find out what exactly he means by that because from the sounds of it, it sounds like we're getting a new title. And hopefully, if that's the case, I hope it's not like the other ones that we got because the ones from 2013 to now are kind of bland. I didn't like them. I mean, it's just copy and paste version each time. Just with a different color scheme, But yeah, nonetheless, Cena comes out, says all that stuff about being the last real champion, how he's going to ruin wrestling, and he's going to take that title home with him. And he goes on to name the people that come before him that had held that championship, and blah, 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 blah. And next thing you know, we see somebody named Randy Orton slither underneath the ropes, wait for Cena to turn around, and Cena gets this little funny, as he notices Orton's there as he turns around, is a little subtle shit, like, damn, I fucked up, man. This is Randy Orton that's been behind me, the Viper, out of nowhere, that Randy Orton. Comes RKO's John Cena, and I believe that we're getting replays of the classic hits, meaning John Cena's some of Cena's greatest feuds, and Orton is in there. Orton, Edge, CM Punk, just to name a few. I'm really thrilled for this because we're getting present day Orton versus present day Cena, and Cena's on this terror of a heel run right now, and Orton seems to be the good guy ish. Because in a WrestleMania match against, I know it wasn't really planned for him and Henry to go and feud, like that. But I don't, or I'm calling Orton a face right now. So I'm assuming that he's gonna play that role as a face going forward in this match and feud against Cena. So I'm excited for this in particular feud because um, I love small acts of nostalgia, and this is one of those things. And I'm sure that we're gonna get some new stuff from Orton and Cena as well. And that's going to be both can go on the mic. John Cena is a stud on the mic, and so is Randy Orton. So those promos should be off the charts. I'm not expecting a crazy match out of this. Not like anything like 5 stars or anything. Maybe 4 out of this. That's just my opinion on it. Um, but yeah, I'm really really looking forward to that. And I have it here too. Um, that those side plates on Cena's belt, one of them says 17 times, and I can't remember what the other one says, but that is awesome. That is really really cool to see that. We also got a new ring announcer on Monday Night Raw. His name is what is it? Mark Shanak. Sorry if I butchered that, but I did a little bit of research on him. He comes from the Vegas Golden Knights. I believe he's an announcer. He was an announcer there. He sounds good. When Cena made him come in and reintroduce him after Cena handed him the note of what Cena wanted him to say in the introduction. The guy can go. I mean, sounded really good. At first, I thought, like, from a distance, I thought he was Greg Hamilton, the old SmackDown announcer, but that was not the case. But nonetheless, Mark, congratulations on, getting the gig, and look forward to hearing from you some more. But yeah, as the night went on, and Raw after Mania, um, yeah, we got we got a lot out just out of that first segment alone. We did. We did. We got Randy Orton is going to be the next challenger. Cena, you know, Cena's promo itself was interesting. Saying the fans that we're not worthy of, basically of Cena. The whole crowd, dude, chanting "We are sorry," trying to get on his good side again. That cracked me the fuck up. I thought it was hilarious. Uh, Cena says that they said that they aren't sorry, but it sounds like they were saying we are sorry. I don't. I'm not sure on that. Um, but then they turn around and they call him an asshole afterwards, and that was awesome. Cena made it clear though that it made it really clear about the dates that he has left, um, which is a key part in this whole Cena saga because I can't remember exactly how many days. It's like 20 something left. But he stated too that he doesn't even need to wrestle. He just needs to show up and talk. Um, so I'm really interested to find out more on that kind of stuff. Like, are they when it comes to the dates? Are they matches or are they like both him talking and the matches? And working. Um, that is a mystery. I would really like to you know inquire about more. Uh, and it'd be interesting. This whole Cena thing is just interesting to me. Um, the whole Cena being a heel and stuff like that still pretty new and fresh to me. It's like a new toy. Um, so I keep going to watch the stuff on YouTube and stuff. So it's pretty fucking sweet. I love this John Cena that we're getting on his way out. I've been waiting for a heel turn on Cena, me personally, for years now. And now that we finally get it, I was not that impressed with the WrestleMania main event match, as I stated. But going forward, now that we have the belt on Cena, we know that he's going to go and feud with Randy Orton now. We're getting the ball rolling. Heel Cena versus face Orton. Whereas before it was heel Orton versus face Cena. So this is new, this is refreshing, and I am totally here for it. Like I stated, it looks like it's going to be Randy Orton versus John Cena at WrestleMania Backlash. Next throughout the night, we got Liv and Raquel taking on Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. Now, remember, I told you guys before that Becky Lynch was the one who came out as the mystery partner for Lyra. And this was a rematch for the Tag Team Championships. It was a really good match, fantastic match. I can't stress this enough about the work that Lyra and Liv, and even Raquel, because Raquel reminds me a lot of like Kevin Nash, how Kevin Nash was when him and Shawn Michaels were together. Liv is Shawn Michaels, Nash, and Raquel is Nash. So I love that little thing. Those guys are amazing. Becky is always going to be on top, and until she's not no more. She's remarkable as well. Lynch and Lyra actually lose the belts, and it was disappointing because I really wanted that run to last a little bit longer. Maybe they could have done it at WrestleMania Backlash, but after I understood. I understood immediately after, because the way Becky Lynch was looking at Lyra after the match, it was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, she's gonna turn on Lyra here, and she does. Becky Lynch turns on Lyra, beats her up, and it looks like we're gonna get a Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria match for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania Backlash. So there's two matches already that the WWE is teasing. One, like I just got done telling you, John Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, and the next Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria versus for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Both are going to be great matches. But yeah, I'm really excited for Lyra and Lynch. That feud is going to be phenomenal. Next on the list was the New Day segment. The New Day are on a tear right now as heels, and I love it. I love it from the jump. I mean, the Big E stuff, it hit home. It hit home. I bought the box of Booty-O's. I wore the merch of the New Day. Those guys are so amazing. Woods is such an excellent storyteller, and so is Kofi. Kofi's been around for decades now at this point. Thank God for the New Day. They wanted us to say it, so let's say it. Thank God for the New Day, because they are running the tag team division at this point. We got the War Raiders, we got the New Day. I'm assuming at some point we're going to get an Uso return, whether that be Jay with the belt, with the World Heavyweight Championship, teaming alongside Jimmy, or without the belt. It doesn't matter. We're probably going to get an Uso return. Who else is there? You got Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, Street Profits. Those stuff like that. So we're kind of lacking tag teams. I mean, and I know I stated in a few episodes back as well as the Lucha Brothers. We have Ray Fenix over there on SmackDown right now, and Penta over on Raw. I'm assuming that once this draft and shakeup happen, those two are going to be on the same show and hopefully be teaming up together. Though I do like where they're at in their singles run right now. We're getting a little bit of exposure for both of these guys and bringing them up. And we did that already with Ray Fenix being in WrestleMania as a replacement for Rey Mysterio. And Pentagon Jr. got his WrestleMania moment when he competed for the Intercontinental Championship in the Fatal 4-Way. at WrestleMania. So they're gaining the exposure and they're building it up, and I believe that they're building it up so they could form that tag team of the Lucha Brothers once more, and then have them go on that big run. That is going to be phenomenal. But the New Day are gold at this point. Seriously, they are gold at this point. They're really good. They play really good faces, and they can also play really, really good heels. And that's exactly what they're doing. Remember when Kofi had his family at ringside, right? And then, his family walks out on him live in the crowd? That is just gold, man. Gold. Kofi's mom just, disappointed as a motherfucker in him and stuff like. I love this angle that the New Day is working right now. And I'm assuming that Big E's going to come into the fold at some point once he gets cleared and ready to compete and everything else like that. It's going to be awesome for the New Day. The Alpha Academy come out and interrupt the New Day as they're, cutting their promo. And they're asking for a title shot right now. They say, you're the best? Okay, let's... Otis and Tozawa beat you the last time, didn't they? Okay, well, let's run it now. Basically, is what they said. That didn't last long because as soon as they were in the ring, Woods and Kingston said, "Yeah, let's go." Official comes out, and then Rusev comes back. Rusev makes his return, and this one caught me off guard. I did not expect Rusev to show up here. I was really, really excited. I love Rusev. I loved him when he was Miro over in AEW as well. I thought he did really good work over there. I'm assuming that stuff must have not worked out over there on the other side in Jacksonville. So welcome back to WWE, Rusev, and I hope that they give him a mid card push first, and then they send him up because in all honesty, listen, in all honesty, you really do. I mean. You really don't need to put Rusev in the mid card to push him like that because he's a former United States champion. And over in AEW, he's did a lot of main event work, also a lot of mid card work as well. The fans know who he is. If you're a professional wrestling fan, not a casual, not a sometimer, if you're a professional wrestling fan, you know who Miro is. You know who Rusev is. So you're very very aware of who is on your TV screen at the moment. And most likely, these guys want him to be pushed. We want to see Rusev up there again. Fantastic United States champion, fantastic Mick Carter. At this point in Rusev's career, though, he deserves to be in that main event slot. I'd push him up there. Like I said, though, you could go the route of doing a mid-card title run with him, and then after that, pushing him up. That would be sick, too. But for the most part, I really think that... he's going to be beaten up on the Alpha Academy for a little bit, and then, he off to the races. He is. But as I digress. Rusev, son of a bitch. Rusev Day is back, and congratulations to Rusev. Are we going to get Lana back, though? That's my question. CJ Perry, is she coming back to the WWE as well, or not? Because we can definitely get Otis and Maxine versus Lana and Rusev. And that's just a thought. You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be a bad match at all. Be something exciting. Something for the fans to actually, grasp onto and as a filler slot and stuff like that. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. That's just one of them, the routes that they could go with that if they were planning on the feud of Rusev versus the Alpha Academy. But like I said, congratulations to Rusev. He definitely deserves it. Next, we got on the Raw After Mania episode, we got Io Sky coming out, to speak on the mic, and I thought that this was awesome because it was a way for them to introduce their main audience to some newer women in the women's division, and that being Stephanie Vaquer, the NXT Women's Champion. No, she's not, right? No, Julia's the NXT Women's Champion. Stephanie Vaquer isn't. Let me double check that because yeah, I think. Okay, so it is Stephanie Vaquer. Yeah, Stephanie Vaquer is the women's NXT Women's Champion, and so Io Sky comes out, and Io is just awesome. She's got this bubbly personality, and um, she she goes on, to normal normal victory promos of, I fought the challenge, I fought the hard fight, I beat him, and I'm still your champion. And it wasn't a long segment. It wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't a long promo, but it was impactful because Stephanie Vaquer interrupts Io, right? And Stephanie comes out, and after Io, is saying that she is the best and she wants to compete against the best, Stephanie Vaquer comes out. Stephanie Vaquer also says the same thing. I want to compete against the best as well, and you are the best, Io. You are the best. So we get a match between Stephanie Vaquer, the NXT champion, and the reigning um, women's world champion, Io Sky. And the match starts off very, very fucking technical. Guys, I love that. I love that. Io Sky is a technical wrestler, and so is Steph. Steph Vaquer is a very, very phenomenal athlete. Um, she she is one of those future talents, again, that is going to carry the women's division on the main roster long once he gets up there. Very long and very far. Io Sky the same. Io Sky has proven that she is a main eventer, and yeah, dude, amazing, amazing start to this match. It was very, very technical. Where else? Where else are we? Okay, I do believe that this match. Um, See, I'm trying to. Yeah, this match definitely stole the show for me because because of the fact that. Sorry, I got a message. Because of the fact that they're. I can't stress this enough. Like I said it in previous episodes as well. Bring new superstars up. We want like we're we're tired of the old. We're tired of the old same old same old. You know. We wanna we want to see new guys. That's exactly what we want to see. We want to see new guys. We want to see new girls, and that's exactly what they're doing with Stephanie Vaquer here. They're pushing her up. She's the current NXT champion, and soon enough she will make her main roster debut. And once she does that, it is going to be amazing, amazing. Um, Io Sky went over. No, Yeah, I believe she went over by DQ. I don't have it here in my notes, just to be sure. No, I don't. So let me look that up real quick. I don't know why I. So yeah, Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky. Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky. There it is. I believe. Why isn't it? I know it went off in like some type of DQ or whatever, but why are we? I just need the results, guys. That's all I need. Okay, so the match ended in a no contest due to interference from Roxanne Perez and Julia. Um, yeah, I don't know why I don't have that in here. That's fucking weird. Anyways, we'll move on. We'll move on. Then okay, so after that, this is where things start to get a little bit juicy. Because we cut back from commercial, and we get a glimpse of Gunther, arms on the announce table, talking to Michael Cole about Michael Cole had said. Gunther then, uh, continuing to talk to Michael Cole, was triggered by Michael Cole saying, "Well, hey, listen, I'm not the one. I'm not the one who tapped out last night." Uh, but I mean, Michael Cole probably should have never said something like that, considering that Gunther's already heated. But that's what just makes the story better. You know what I'm saying? So Michael Cole's, on his feet, hands up like this, like I don't. I'm not the one who tapped out last night, Gunther. Sorry. Gunther then just was, like giving him that look, like, the fuck did you just say to me? And then yokes him up, man. He yokes Cole up, gets him in that sleeper, and then here comes Pat McAfee for the save. Bang! Right forearm, to the dome of Gunther. Breaks the hold on Michael Cole. Pat McAfee then goes to turn around to go back to his desk, and Gunther locks his ass up too. This was pretty interesting because as soon as Gunther gets the hold on him, security starts to come out, and then you see the rest of the cast of the Pat McAfee show storm the barricade, come over, and try to go and save their friend and their boss. Everybody was around, like the 4 or 5 guys of the PMS show. The Pat McAfee show, and there was like Adam Pierce trying to get Gunther off. No, it was Adam Pierce and Jessica Carr trying to get Gunther off of McAfee. McAfee's face is turning blue, and everything else. Great seller. McAfee's a freaking stud at that kind of stuff. Um, I'm assuming we are going to get McAfee versus Gunther at some point, maybe WrestleMania Backlash. I don't see any other show of them, other than WrestleMania Backlash, than this for this feud to end. Obviously, I have Gunther going over in that match because they're not. I don't see them. Gunther is a former world heavyweight champion. No offense to McAfee, but they're not gonna put McAfee over their former world champion, and not just a former world champion. The guy held the fucking Intercontinental Championship for over 600 fucking days. I don't see. I mean, they would really have to put the fucking screws to Gunther to have him lose to a commentator. I mean, McAfee has had matches in NXT and at WrestleMania against Theory and stuff. Yeah, but it's not Gunther. Austin Theory is not fucking Gunther. Gunther is a stud. So if that feud is very interesting and all, I do see McAfee losing to Gunther during all of that, and I thought that was gold, real life gold. McAfee did a really good job at selling that. Following that, though, we had the Intercontinental. I don't. Yeah, we had Dom versus Penta, and this match here, right? Because Dom had to defend the Intercontinental Championship, his first title defense, and this match here was really good. Um, I'm a fan of both Dom and Penta here. Dom is the guy that can help the WWE. I said it before, dude. He is the guy that can help this company go into the future. I really stand on that hill, and I'll go to bat for Dom, being the future of this company any day. I mean, he's the charisma. Like I said, he plays that cocky, cowardly heel really fucking well. And then on the other side, you got, Penta, who is an established luchador. And he's wrestled all over the fucking world. He's won championships all over the fucking world. And these two play off of each other really well. Um, in this match, Penta made Dom look like $1 million fucking dollars. As the match goes on, it looks like we were gonna get, because JD McDonough, Finn Balor's already out there. JD McDonough makes his return. Um, JD McDonough pushes Penta off the top rope. Dominic hits the 619, followed by the frog splash. Excuse me, and pins Penta 1, 2, 3. I think that the next angle for Dominic Mysterio will be Finn Balor. I said this to Zach the other day. I think that this is the end of the Judgment Day. Liv and Raquel, yes, they just won the belts back. But more important, the more important story here, and the thing to look at, is Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. With a little implement of Carlito, maybe, because I see Carlito playing another like medium to big size role in this feud. So this will be really good. But yeah, it's really looking like Finn and it's really looking like Finn and Dominic are going to be feuding here soon. And to be honest though, I'm here for it. That was that was a really really good match. Dominic obviously retains the belt, and as I said, it was a clean finish, 1, 2, 3, pin Penta. Now this isn't a losing streak for him. This isn't like a bad losing streak for Penta, but yeah, I think that this was really much needed for Dominic, though. To go over um, this way, and I mean this way as in like clean 1, 2, 3. You want to establish him as a champion, and what better way to do it than to because yeah, you could have him win by countout, and it would add fuel to the fire of him being a heel. But when your champion pins him 1, 2, 3 clean in the center of the ring, there's no debate about that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the story could go multiple ways if it was a count out or if it was a DQ, because then you'd be, oh well, can Dominic really do it without the Judgment Day? Can he? No, he pinned Penta 1, 2, 3 in the center of the ring, and he moves on. Finn Balor will probably be the one to challenge Dominic Mysterio. Now, what I mean by that is it's going to be a very close call in that match, but I still see Dominic going over Finn Balor and remaining the Intercontinental Champion. I'm wondering what they're going to do, how they're going to split Liv up, because a part of me says that Liv is going to side with Balor in this. But then a part of me says that, no, she might just pull out in general and just leave the Judgment Day as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I'm really excited for this. I really am. Like, so much. I have been waiting for the Judgment Day to end since SummerSlam in Cleveland, dude. I thought it was going to end back there. And here we are, still going with this. And yeah, I don't I don't want to see the Judgment Day. I don't feel like there's any purpose for the Judgment Day to go on anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm kind of all over the place here, but just stick with me here, because this is all about to come to an end here as we move on into the main event, which is just a segment between Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman. This one was great storytelling. What a way to end the Raw after Mania with this, because you have Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman that come out, and immediately, here comes CM Punk, right? Rollins beats the shit out of CM Punk. Then comes out Then comes out Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns was holding his own for a while. CM Punk was holding his own. He's then immediately get beat up by Seth Rollins like that. You know what I'm saying? It went on for a while. Eventually, Punk got his ass beat. Reigns comes out to try and make the save for Punk. Does a really good job at beating Seth Rollins, but then the shocker happens. Braun Breaker comes out, dude. Braun fucking Breaker. I did not see this coming at all. I did not think that they were going to try and form the next evolution. I thought it was just going to be, Rollins and then possibly Becky Lynch coming out tonight, because remember, she just turned heel. And when she turned on her former tag team partner, Lyra Valkyria. I assumed that it was going to be that type of stable faction, if you will, whatever you want to call it. Instead, we got Braun Breaker, which is nice. Braun Breaker's coming off of a nice title run. He's a two-time Intercontinental Champion already. Really has a solid foundation. Has the lineage, with the Steiner brothers. Rick's his dad. Scotty's his uncle. He has all of that. He has all of the tools. He's jacked as fuck. He can wrestle. He can do all the other shit too. And he has the charisma factor as well. I think we're seeing a new, we're seeing a lot of new shit come from WWE. Stuff like the older generation, and what I mean is like the older fans, older than myself, like the guys that have been watching since the 70s through the 80s, and then probably dipped off in 2009 when that PG era happened. We're gonna see a lot of different stuff in the original, buff tan Hulk Hogan like guys who are just doing not even three moves and a leg drop and that's it. A lot of these bigger guys like Braun Breaker, like Jacob Fatu, are high flying guys now that can do all of these flips and stunts and stuff like that, and I'm here for it. I love it. Braun Breaker is in a faction with, or stable, or whatever. Like I said, whatever you want to call it, he's in there with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, Shawn Michaels Jr. and Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, who is a fucking genius, dude. Who's a fucking genius. I'm so glad that Braun's paired with these guys, because he can learn a lot. He can learn a lot about what it takes to be, the main event guy, because that's what he's there for. Eventually, Braun is going to turn on Seth, and it's going to be Braun and Seth, and after Braun goes over in that, because that's what I'm assuming happens. Braun goes over in that feud, and sails off as a world champion of some sort. I really want that for Braun. And I'm excited, really excited to see where this goes, and I look forward to all that. But that was that main event, and I thought it wasn't a bad show for the Raw after Mania. There was some things that I didn't really understand, like when the Cena promo happened, how the crowd was booing Cody Rhodes. Like, maybe it was just that city, and I know they were still in Vegas, but that's the only thing I could think of, is that they were pissed that Cody Rhodes couldn't get the job done, so they were booing him. But that's one of the only things I didn't understand is the Las Vegas crowd booing Cody Rhodes when his name was brought up. But other than that, it wasn't a half bad show. We got a lot of action out of it. We got a lot of storytelling out of it, and I'm excited to see where all of these stories and feuds go next. And hopefully on tonight on SmackDown we'll get more on that kind of stuff, because it seems like we're getting like a Super Show type of deal from WWE right now, until like either they do something with the draft or like Cena leaves. I don't know, but with Cena on Raw, Uso on Raw, I'm assuming that this is what's going to be the lineup, and that's going to be Jey Uso, on both shows. John Cena on both shows, or until that stuff happens, meaning the draft or the shakeup or whatever happens. All right, so next we move on to the NFL, the National Football League, and I'm actually pretty excited about where my Patriots are in this draft, and I'm excited for a lot of the rest of the league as well, man. So why don't we dive into it? I'll break a little bit of it down, and we'll get us out of here. All right. So why don't we transition on over to the other screen, and I will see you there. All right. Here we are. The 2025 NFL Draft is upon us. Round 1 is already in the books. Round 2 and 3 will be tonight starting at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Wow, is what I can say at this point, because number 1, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Cameron Ward from the University of Miami goes to the Tennessee Titans. This was really expected, because the Tennessee Titans are in a rebuilding mode here, and trying to get me my notes here. Oh, here we are. All right. I really like this for Tennessee. Cameron Ward, quarterback, University of Miami. The reason why I like this for Tennessee is, like, as I stated, these guys are rebuilding. You know, excuse me. You need in a rebuilding phase, just like the Patriots. My Patriots did this last year. You need you need to grab a quarterback. Now, the 2026 draft is probably a better quarterback class, considering Archibald Manning's coming into it and stuff. Cam Ward is up there, top 4 in the NCAA, and as far as quarterback stats go. Um, he's 6'2", 219 pounds. The dude is a stud, and they need to build around him from here. The rounds 2 through 7 for the Tennessee Titans should be putting pieces in place to help progress and develop Cameron Ward as they go forward. Pick number 2, who we thought was going to be the Cleveland Browns taking Travis Hunter or possibly Shedeur Sanders, right? No, they trade the pick away to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is on the clock, and they take cornerback Travis Hunter from Colorado, and this is a really good pick from Jacksonville. Travis Hunter, and on a lot of people's drafts, he's the number 1 guy in the entire thing. I personally have Abdul Carter number 1, Travis Hunter number 2. Travis Hunter, 6 foot tall, 188 pounds, can play both sides of the ball. This guy is phenomenal. As a cornerback, Hunter stays in phase and gets his head turned around. When running with the receivers, he's a playmaker. He can read the receiver, get his eyes on the quarterback as soon as the receiver breaks on the route. The guy is just he plays lights out. Now I know that there's levels to this shit here, and there's a difference between the pros and the amateurs in college and stuff. I don't know exactly how I feel about Travis Hunter, because for a while there was talks about him coming to my Patriots, and I would have been fine with it. I think that this is a guy where we need to see him preseason, or not even preseason, OTAs and stuff like that. We need to see him in a professional atmosphere. That's my opinion, not my take on the whole thing. I would really love to see him play both sides of the ball, and I know that was a big thing, that if he couldn't play both sides of the ball, he was going to retire or something like that. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm really excited to see where he goes. People are comparing him to OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. Um, I could see it. Yeah, I could see it. But honestly, I need to see him in that pro atmosphere, just like the rest of these guys. But I know he's gonna. I can sit here and tell you he's gonna be good in this, and this, all until I'm blue in the face. But I'm optimistic, but I'm also taking a step back from him because of the fact that he's wanting to play, you know, both sides of the ball. And I personally, in the NFL, I've never seen something like that before. Um, so number 2, Travis Hunter, Colorado cornerback, goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Next on the clock is the New York Football Giants, picking at number 3. The Giants go ahead and select edge rusher Abdul Carter from Penn State. And honestly, not a bad pick. This is my number 1 guy. This is who I wanted the Patriots to take at first. We'll get into who the Pats actually selected here after this pick. Um, but I'm really happy with New York. This isn't the first time that they picked in the first round of this year's draft. We'll get into that later as it goes on. But nonetheless, yeah, Abdul Carter, excellent pass rusher. The dude is phenomenally fast. He can. He's like Micah Parsons. He really is. He's like Micah Parsons. Fast, agile. Um, he can dip under block. He runs the loop, bends inside without losing his balance, and has outstanding closing burst. He moved from linebacker to edge in 2024, changes directions well, and mixes in a variety of moves. The guy is just an all-around stud, and a lot of people had him marked number 1, me included, in their big boards, and honestly in their mock drafts. I had Cam Ward going 1 to Tennessee, 2 Abdul Carter to the Browns to help Myles Garrett on the other side. We'll get into the Browns here because after the Patriots, they took the 5th spot, obviously, in the trade they had done with Jacksonville. So, yeah, I was going to say Micah Parsons. Abdul Carter, 6'3", 250 pounds, edge rusher for Penn State, goes to the New York Football Giants. So congratulations to Abdul Carter and the New York Giants on making their first-round selection, one of their first-round selections. Next, at number 4, is the New England Patriots, 6-time Super Bowl champions. Drake May is the stud of the future, in my opinion. Drake May is a phenomenal quarterback, and we need to build around him. I said this about Tennessee. If you're going to get your guy, you make sure you build around him. Don't, build around and then try and get fit a guy or, do any other thing. Build around him, and that's exactly what the Patriots have done with this pick because the New England Patriots select Will Campbell, left tackle out of LSU. He is the second best tackle in a position ranked 14th overall, and he has a grade of 91. He's 6'6" and 319 pounds. Listen. Okay, so with the work that we need to do on the offensive line alone in New England is this is a huge start, a very, very, very huge start. Somebody like Will Campbell, who is, dude, he is spectacular. He is spectacular at that position, and this is a huge start because now from rounds 2 and 3 tonight, we can fill in these other holes. We got the guy who we can build around on the offensive line, being Will Campbell. Okay, so now we need to go in the interior, and possibly with David Andrews retiring, we have to look at that center position. And I don't listen. I don't think that the Pats go immediately in rounds 2 and 3 tonight. I don't see them going interior offensive line. Maybe they do. But I think that they're able to, get some really good skill players, such as wide receiver. We need a running back as well. Um, Even on the defensive side of the ball, maybe a linebacker or two. We don't really need corners. We got Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis III. Maybe one more corner in rounds 4 and 5, or yeah, rounds or 3 and 4. Sorry. Um, but for rounds 2 and 3, I think we should really focus on R.J. Harvey or who else? Who else is available? I believe Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State, or was he taken? I know Omarion Hampton from the University of North Carolina is gone. So we'd have to we definitely look at the running back position because we need that as well. You could go defense. I mean, we got Harold Landry on the edge. Go and pick up another edge rusher. I believe my guy from Ohio State is still available, Jack Sawyer, the edge rusher from Ohio State, national champion. We can go and get him in the second or third round, probably third round. Get the running back first or wide receiver in that second round pick, definitely, and then go for the edge rusher in the third, and then build that interior offensive line, followed by maybe a sleeper in the wide receiver position, or even adding depth to the running back position. I mean, honestly, solid start here. Solid start here from the New England Patriots already. I thought maybe they should have traded down a little bit, gained some more picks in the third, second through fifth round, um, to honestly beef up and add depth to the positions in need. But this is an excellent start either way. They could have went with Ashton Genty here, who is the best running back in the draft today right now. But they went with Will Campbell, and I'm happy about that. Will Campbell is not a bad selection at all, at all. But yeah, so the New England Patriots select Will Campbell, offensive tackle, at from LSU, and with a fifth pick is the Cleveland Browns. So the Cleveland Browns, as I stated before, traded with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the number 2 pick for the number 5 pick, and the Cleveland Browns select Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. And as you can see on the screen here, he's 6'4", 293 pounds. He's in a positional rank, he's ranked number 1. In overall rank out of the entire draft, he's ranked number 5 with a grade of 93. I'm an Ohio State guy through and through. So Michigan is a rivalry, as you guys all know. This guy is a problem. We'll put it like that. And he's not the only one, because where else is there? Let me go down real quick, because there was that was the other defensive tackle from Michigan. I'm missing him. I'm drawing a blank here. No, I know he's here. Come on, Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant from Michigan. Okay, Kenneth Grant is obviously the faster of the defense of the two, but he as far as like overall, this was the pick that needed to be made for the Cleveland Browns. Excellent choice, by the way. They just locked in Myles Garrett, and they need a quarterback. They do for sure, but this is the right move for them, right? Shador, we'll get to that later. Um, this is what they really need right here. They're in a very tough division. The AFC North is filled with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who just got DK Metcalf, and they have George Pickens. Uh, then you have the Baltimore fucking Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, just to name 2 out of that star-studded team. And then the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You need a defense to stop these guys, because you have to play them twice a year. You know, you have to prep this kind of stuff up. Great choice by the Cleveland Browns here with choosing Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan. And next is the guy that I was just talking about because the Oakland Raiders at the number 6 pick select running back Ashton Genty from Boise State, the best running back in the whole draft. The guy has an awkward stance, I'll give him that. Like he just stands up straight, doesn't really have a stance, um, but he's comfortable that way. And he made a great point when he talks. I think he was talking to John Gruden, and he said, basically, they haven't gotten me because Gruden asked about his stance, and he said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is basically what he said, and you gotta agree with it. The guy's 5'9", 211 pounds. He's like I just said, he's the best running back in the draft. Third overall in the entire draft, and he's got a grade of 93. Um, Great choice. I had this locked in for the Raiders in my mocks. I figured that with Pete Carroll taking over, they have Geno Smith as a quarterback. They weren't really going to go that route because Geno is not a bad quarterback, And as I stated in the beginning of this segment, when I started talking about the draft, next year's draft with Archibald Manning is going to be a decent size QB class. So they could definitely take the running back here, get a few pieces of the puzzle, and hopefully continue fixing offense next season. Next draft, excuse me, and select their guy there. I'm really excited for the Oakland Raiders. They're comparing him, as you see on your screen. They're comparing him to Alvin Kamara, which is that's awesome. Alvin Kamara is phenomenal. Genty's ability to break tackles is his superpower, and his core strength is excellent. He had his 2,600 rushing yards in 2024, ranked second in NCAA history behind Barry Sanders for the most in a single season. He's shattering records already in college. Why wouldn't you take him if you're the Oakland Raiders? And not to mention Pete Carroll is the head coach of the the Las Vegas Raiders. We've seen what he did with Marshawn Lynch, right? He's got Geno Smith. He's dealt with Geno before in Seattle. Marshawn Lynch and Pete Carroll. I don't know what their relationship was like. I'm not a Hawks fan. Wasn't a Raiders. I'm not a Raiders fan either. My wife's uncle is. But look at the track record with Carroll and Lynch. 2 Super Bowls, right? Obviously they had the Legion of Boom on the other side and Russell Wilson and all that other stuff. The Las Vegas Raiders are this close away. They are also in a really tough division. The AFC West, they have a bunch. The Denver Broncos, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chargers. The Chargers, Jim Harbaugh is their head coach. The Broncos, man, he's the old coach. I know Sean Payton. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this today. And then obviously Andy Reid for the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's a loaded division as far as head coaching goes. Bo Nix is an excellent quarterback for the Broncos. Pat Mahomes is top tier, an elite quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Justin Herbert is iffy because of that playoff game last year. I didn't really like what I seen from Herbert last year in that playoff game. The lights were on you and you didn't do shit, dude. If he doesn't, if the Chargers make it to the playoffs this year, he has to redeem himself. He's got to get that lick back, or otherwise you're gone. The Chargers should be thinking about this kind of stuff right now. Like, hey, we do have a chance to take Jalen Milroe, Will Howard, Rodley Leonard, or any other, who was the guy from Syracuse? He led the league. He led the country last year. Geez, I can't think of his name. The guy from Syracuse. But yeah, so they could the Chargers could easily, in rounds 4 through 5, select one of those quarterbacks that I just named. Everybody except for Jackson Dart. Jackson, obviously, we're getting to the New York Giants, and as you know, the New York Giants did select Jackson Dart. Yeah, so the Raiders select Ashton Genty, running back, Boise State. Next is the 7th pick in the New York Football Jets. See what I did there? The New York Jets select offensive tackle Armand Membu from Missouri. And this is a solid pick from the Jets. They just lost, their tackle Morgan Moses to the Patriots. We signed him in free agency, so I expected this. I expected something out of the offensive line work from the New York Jets. The guy's 6'4", 332 pounds. He's position ranked of number 1 overall ranked, number 9, and a 91 overall grade. This is a solid choice from the Jets, being compared to Jason Peters here, as you can see here. The Jets, I'm not going to spend that much time on this pick. I'm happy that the Jets are starting to take the offensive line serious. They didn't really have a bad offensive line to begin with Aaron Rodgers. They should really be focusing on that fucking quarterback position, though. Yeah, take the offensive line here. But at the same time, think about the skill positions. You know, what is really the problem in New York? Probably Woody Johnson, the owner. We need to get that quarterback in there. If the Jets want to be taken serious or even want a somewhat decent season, you need to grab the guy that's going to lead your team. Start with the quarterback and then go and do that. I mean, having a solid offensive line, right, ready to go, and then drafting a quarterback is something. I talked about next year's draft and Archibald Manning. Is this something that the Jets are thinking of? But also at the same time, I've been around long enough to know that the Jets just like picking in the top 5 every fucking year because it seems like that's what they fucking like to do. It seems like that's what they are fucking doing, is they're picking in the top 5, top 10 every fucking year. That's just their game they like to play. They don't like winning Super Bowls, but they sure as hell like picking in the top 5 to top 10 in the NFL draft every year. So congratulations to Armand Membu on living out your dream, man. You get to play professional football, and I really hope that you're successful. Next on the clock was the Carolina Panthers, who are also in the same position as the New England Patriots, rebuilding. They got a nice young prospect in Bryce Young. I know what everybody else thinks about Bryce Young, right? But listen, you're not going anywhere with the amount of talent that those guys have. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at their roster real quick. I I see so much hate on Bryce Young because he was benched, and I just I don't understand it because there was really not that much talent to begin with in Carolina. So let me see. NFL, there we go. You see my lovely wife there. Carolina, NFC South. Yep, Panthers here. Lineup, fantasy depth. No, lineup. All right, so now let's turn it back. Okay, so look at all these holes that you have on just from a PFF standpoint of the Carolina Panthers. Free safety, strong safety isn't that bad though. But free safety, linebacker positions, corners, the whole fucking defensive line except for Jadeveon Clowney down here, and then on the opposite side of the fucking ball, solid, decent offensive line here. Struggling a little bit at center, maybe a little bit at right guard. Garbage tight end. Look at the rating they have on Bryce Young, though. 74.4 overall. And this guy here at running back is solid. They have Adam Thielen and Xavier Legette at there. They just got Tedoror McMillan. Give it time, guys. Give it time before you write Bryce Young off. Let him sink in. Let him sink in. And in the meantime, what about the fucking defense? Look at the defense. The defense is absolutely garbage, and you expect this team to do something? Now, of course, Bryce Young should be playing at his absolute best, but what are you going to do? I mean, honestly, what are you going to do with this team? This team is a dumpster fire right now. They're rebuilding. They're rebuilding, man. Give them, cut them some slack. But anyways, I digress. Um, they took Tedoror McMillan, the best wide receiver in the draft. Next was the New Orleans Saints, and I'm running out of time here, so I'll try and move on as quickly as I can. Calvin Banks Jr., tackle from Texas, goes to the Saints. This is a solid pick for the Saints. Everybody thought that Shador Sanders was going to go here. This shows that maybe that they're going to wait to the second round to draft a quarterback if they go that route. But for now, I think that this is the right move of them. Pick number 10 is Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan. This is just adding pieces to the puzzle for the Chicago Bears. This is absolutely no fucking excuse for the Chicago Bears to fail here. After everything that they've done over the offseason and stuff like that, there's no reason why these guys shouldn't be in the fucking playoffs this year. Next is the San Francisco 49ers, and I honestly expected them to go at defense with this pick, and they absolutely did. They got Michael Williams, the edge rusher from Georgia, linebacker. Excellent choice. 49ers are going to continue to be on a tear. Next is the number 12 pick, Tyler Booker from Alabama. He's an offensive guard. Goes to the Cowboys. If Zach was here, he'd probably be happy with you, with this pick. And, yeah, dude, excellent choice from the Cowboys. They want that offensive line back. And, yeah, pick number 13, the Miami Dolphins select Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan. This is what I was talking about earlier. He's the faster out of the two defensive tackles from Michigan, so that'll be exciting for the Dolphins. I wonder what they're going to do at wide receiver and quarterback, though. Tyler Warren goes to the Colts as expected at the number 14th pick. And then next, we have number 15th pick, Jalen Walker from Georgia, the linebacker. And after that, we have the 16th pick for the Arizona Cardinals. They select Walter Nolan, defensive tackle from Ole Miss. The Cardinals are one of those teams where I really don't know if they're on the up and up or if they're moving down. The 17th pick, the Cincinnati Bengals select Shamir Stewart, edge rusher from Texas A&M. This was a not really a big surprise for me because nobody knows what they're going to do with Trey Hendrickson, their other edge rusher. I am pretty excited to see what happens with Trey. Are they going to resign? Because I mean, the guy is. It's hard. It's hard not to love the guy. The guy is like, he doesn't have an ego. He's a team-friendly guy. All this other stuff, man. Sign him. He looks like he wants to get a deal done. He sounds like he wants to get a deal done and stay in Cincinnati. So this would be huge if they could sign Trey and then have this guy on the other side. The Bengals defense is going to be, nasty. And then on the opposite side, you got Joe fucking Burrow. So why wouldn't you want to sign Trey Henderson to help, Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, the edge rusher they just picked up, Because that's what the missing piece of the puzzle is that is that defense for Cincinnati. And then Cincinnati will be right back in the playoffs and terrorizing Kansas City again. You know what I'm saying? The number 18th pick is Gray Zabal from North Dakota State, offensive guard. Seattle really needs this. They got Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, making they're making the adjustments to remain a playoff team. That's nice to see. And then at pick 19, Emeka Ibuka, the wide receiver from Ohio State, goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, I said this all the time, and I'll keep on saying this. Cleveland really fucked up when they when they sent Baker packing. They did, because this guy is unbelievable in Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay just gave him another weapon. Emeka Abuka is a phenomenal wide receiver. I expect him to do well down there in Tampa Bay. The next pick is the Denver Broncos, and they select Jahdae Barron, cornerback from Texas, with the 20th pick. And this just adds to that defense that Denver's got. Denver is a playoff team. They got beat by the Bills in the playoffs last year in 2024. I expect them to be right back there with Coach Sean Payton, and yeah, I'm happy with this. Beefing up on the defense, they already got a solid offensive line, and they got some. I expect them to take probably another wide receiver within the second, third round, and be on the up and up again. Now, with this 21st overall pick, I did not expect the Steelers to go defense. I thought that for sure, like, they were going to go Shedeur Sanders. And at this point, I'm sitting here wondering, okay, well, the Saints didn't take him. They went offensive line. That tells me that the Saints are confident within Derek Carr, their quarterback. But the Steelers here, who are in this like love triangle with Aaron Rodgers and the Minnesota Vikings, it seems like all signs were pointing towards the Pittsburgh Steelers taking a quarterback, and they didn't. They took a defensive tackle named Derek Harmon from Oregon, and that just beat. They got T.J. Watt there. I know there was some issues, some talks about T.J. leaving Pittsburgh, getting traded out. I don't see that happening. I really don't see that happening. And with this pick here, it pretty much solidifies that. They're gonna sign him. They're gonna sign TJ, and he's gonna have some ridiculous amount of number, and they're gonna move forward with that. That's another team I think is gonna take a quarterback within this second through fifth round. Next on the clock is the Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers take Omarion Hampton, the running back from North Carolina. This is the one I was talking about when I was referring to Trayvon Hendrickson from Ohio State. This guy is a stud too. Phenomenal guy out of North Carolina. He's the second best running back in the draft. He's got a grade of 90 and overall rank of 21. Solid pickup by the Chargers. And by the way, as I stated, guys, before, with this pickup of the Chargers, because last year they took they took a left tackle. I can't remember his name. And then this year they take a running back. They're beefing up on that offense. But still, Justin Herbert. You know what I'm saying? Justin Herbert didn't look well at all. At all. So, this, again, I reiterate, if the Chargers make it to the playoffs, right? And Justin Herbert just doesn't do well. Or hell, if he doesn't even do well in the regular season, start talks about getting him out of there, possibly trading him, and then pulling somebody in the 2026 overall draft. Or in the later rounds of this draft, select a quarterback, There's nothing wrong with having a backup plan. There's nothing wrong with having it. And then the 23rd overall pick, the Green Bay Packers select Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas. The 24th pick, the Minnesota Vikings select Donovan Jackson, Ohio State, guard. And then here, the 25th overall pick. I thought for sure when I seen this come in, I was like, damn, they're really about to go after Shedeur. They're really about to go after Shedeur here. And nope, Jackson Dart. You got it right. Jackson Dart, quarterback, Old Mississippi, is now a New York Giant. The second quarterback off the board. The Atlanta Falcons trade up, and they trade back into the first round, and they take James Pierce Jr., edge rusher of Tennessee. The 27th overall pick is the Baltimore Ravens add to their defense, and they take safety Malachi Starks out of Georgia. Next, the Detroit Lions, they add to their defense as well, which is already a solid defense and a solid team on both sides. Tyleik Williams, Ohio State, defensive tackle, solid pick. Then we have the Washington Commanders, who are then on the clock, and they take Josh Connerly Jr., tackle from Oregon. The Bills select Maxwell Hairston, cornerback out of Kentucky. Remember, he's the fastest player in the draft. With the 31st overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jihad Campbell, a linebacker, Alabama, and then the Kansas City Chiefs beef up their offensive line with the folks who have left and they add Josh Simmons, tackle from Ohio State. So there's a lot of decent picks, a lot of good surprises in this draft, and I'm actually pretty excited. I'm actually pretty excited to see where rounds 2 and 3 tonight go, and on Saturday too. So it's gonna be nice, man. It's gonna be really, really, really nice. And on that note, we're gonna wrap things up here, and hopefully next week Zach will be back here, and we'll have a much better show. I didn't do too bad. I felt like I didn't do too bad so far on my own. And I had a blast. I know there's always gonna be mess ups inside in the show. Nobody's perfect, but it was awesome. It was awesome, guys. And on that note, the starters may get the glory, but you know what? I don't even know that. 'Cause that's Zach's thing. Anyways, guys, enjoy your weekend. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. I will see you guys on Tuesday. And until then, have a great night. Peace.